Hi, my name is Jeremy. This is Red Means Recording, and today I'm here to talk to you about the Teenage Engineering Pocket Operator PO-33 K.O. This is part of the new metal series that started with the PO-32 Tonic, and there's also the PO-35 Speak, which I'll get to later. But today we're going to focus on this guy. So what is it? It's a micro sampler that has 8 melodic kits, or melodic instruments that you can sample into it, and 8 kits that you can create by sampling stuff into it. And we'll get to all that a little bit more in depth later. It has 40 seconds of sample memory, 16 patterns, and you can back up and restore all of your settings and samples and all that kind of stuff through a data transfer thing that I'll show you in a bit. You can sample via the microphone that's right here, or you can sample via the line in, and I'll show you both. So just hold your horses. You can also sync it to things like other pocket operators and Korg Volcas very, very easily, which is really sweet. Okay, so let's go through the interface real quick. If you're not familiar with pocket operators, I'll give you the rundown on how this works. A lot of the functions are similar to the other pocket operators. So the first button up here is the sound button. Holding this down will let you select one of your kits. And then you can play it. The pattern button, if you hold it down, will select one of 16 patterns. If you just press 1 and let go, then that pattern will play. If you hold pattern and select more than one in sequence, 9 through 12, there we go. Now I've just created a pattern chain from 9 to 12, and I can do that in any configuration I want. You can press 9 5 times and 12 once if you want, and it will play 9 5 times and then 12 once and then go back. So it's going to play this once, then 10 once, then another once, and 12 once. If I want to clear that chain, I just hold pattern and press just one pattern, and it will just play that again. So that's pattern and pattern chaining. The BPM button, when you hold it down, will make these your volume controls. So 1 is the lowest volume and 16 is the highest volume. So nice. If you hit the BPM button a few times, you can see it scrolling through 3 different tempos here, 80, 120, and 140. And if you hold this down and turn this knob, you'll be able to smoothly change the BPM from anywhere from 60 up to 240. This knob changes the swing amount when you hold down BPM. 0 swing. And a lot of swing. These knobs have multiple functions depending on what is going on and what's being held down, and BPM is one of them. They also control all the effects, which I'll show you in a bit, and there's 3 banks of them, and depending on how many times you've hit effect, they will do different things, which is pretty cool. So this record button here is to record samples, and I will show you how to do this in a bit after I get done with the interface, but basically all you have to do is hold record down, pick one of your slots, and the thing is recording, and let go when it's done recording, and then you have your sample. It's one of the easiest ways to sample I've ever seen in my entire life, and it makes playing with this thing really, really fun. If you hold down record and pattern, you'll clear the current pattern. So I just cleared that pattern. It's gone forever, and I hope it wasn't anything special. Record plus BPM will change your sync mode depending on what you have plugged into this side. Right now, I only get to choose between sync with 0 and sync 1, but there are actually 5 different sync modes. In sync 1, you can hear a metronome over to your left, which is actually a sync track, but it doubles as a metronome if you need that when you're recording. I already talked about the effects button, switching back and forth between 3 different banks of effects. Those are filter, trim, and tone. Filter has a multi-mode filter that switches between high pass and low pass. And over here is the resonance. Trim only works when you're not playing. And you can see this little in thing right here. This is setting the in point, and it's actually really cool because you can hear it as you're doing it. And then out sets the out point. So you can zero in on a tiny little slice if you want. Tone has 2 controls, volume and pitch. The play button, I'm still unsure what this does. Maybe we'll figure it out as we go through this walkthrough. If you in the comments know what the play button does, just let me know. I'm still pretty bamboozled by that. I'm just kidding, it plays. The right button here, when pressed down, enables step sequencing, and I'll show you that real quick. So I'm going to go to a drum kit right here and hold down the right button, and now you get this little circle and a square. See that circle and a square? That means that you're writing something. The way that it works for the kits, the drum kits, 9 through 16, whatever trigger I hit last is what I'm going to be able to step sequence when I've hit and written. So I want to do this crunchy bass drum here. I hit right. And now I can do a step sequence of that wherever I want. 1 through 16 are the steps at this point. So if I hit play, you'll hit that. Now, if I wanted to switch to a different sound in the kit, I just hit right again. I'm in that mode. All right, and then I can just keep doing that if I want. This is one way to enter stuff. Okay, take note that you cannot have more than one instrument in a kit playing over itself. It's monophonic. And you have 8 kits here, but the fact of the matter is you can only have 4 individual things playing at once throughout the entirety of your drum kits and your melodic kits. That means that if I have 4 notes playing between like 4 different instruments here or 4 different kits, that's the max you can ever have on one step at one time between the 2 of these things. So if you're messing around and you start hearing notes drop out or not play, you've reached that 4-note polyphony sort of limit between the kits and the melodic things. The other thing the right button will do is allow for live playing and recording of effects. So I'm going to show you live playing real quick. I'm going to select a more melodic sound. Okay, so if I hit right, I could step sequence this. And that's fantastic. But what I really want to do is play something melodic. So I'm going to hold down right and play something. See, I got bamboozled. So you have to make sure that when you're holding down right, you're not already in right mode. So that little icon shouldn't be there. So now I'm back in live record mode. And I could switch to a different sound. That's pretty atonal. I'm not going to mess with that for right now. The other thing the right button will do is record effects. The 16th step here is for no effects, and you use that to clear out any effects that you've recorded while you have been playing. You can actually parameter lock different effects to different steps here. So I'm going to try to demonstrate that now. All right, so I've completely messed up my pattern with effects. And now I'm going to go into right mode with that little icon there. Hold down effects, and here hold down NON, the 16th button, for the whole time, and I've just cleared all my effects. So that's a nice way to sort of reset your pattern after you've like been messing around and maybe you've gotten a little too crazy. If you're new to the Pocket Operator series, you might be wondering like, where's the off switch? There is no off switch. It will auto power down after being left alone for a while. And all you'll see is the time up here. So don't worry. It's very battery efficient. You can always check the battery level by hitting sound and BPM and letting go. I'm at 99% of my charge. That's fantastic. If you want to do a factory reset, you're going to hold pattern and right while inserting the batteries. I'm not going to show you that right now. Okay, so I think we should sample some stuff and play around. The first kind of sampling I want to show you is through the microphone. So I'm going to bring this up to my mouth and say something into it, and then I'm going to be right back with it, and then we're going to play with it. I'm going to hold record and press sample slot 1 to record a melodic sample so I can play it across the keyboard. Yeah! All right, so you can hear there's a little bit of extra stuff on the beginning of that. Man, that's beautiful. A little bit of silence. We're going to get rid of that by scrolling through effects to trim, TRI, and we're going to move the in point until we hear that. I think there's a little bit too much low end in that, so I'm going to go to the filter and scroll up to the high pass filter. Decrease the resonance. That's a little too much. And finally, I'm going to make sure that my pitch for this thing is reset by going to tone and just making sure that my pitch thing is right in the middle so that, I don't know, have it for later. I have no reference for that pitch. I have no idea what the heck that was, so. You can use that microphone to record anything. Take it to your cat. I don't care. Show your cat this thing. See how it does it. Maybe go outside. Record a bird. Yeah. Okay, but what if you wanted to make a kit of your voice? Okay, so you can totally do that, and it's really easy. The thing that you want to keep in mind when recording to a kit is the kit wants 16 steps. It wants 16 individual slices that it can auto-slice things into. It doesn't need it, but I think it makes it a little bit easier for the little Pocket Operator to think about things and do things right. Okay, so I'm going to hold down record and hit 9 for recording into a kit, and I'm going to make a bunch of mouth sounds into this and see what we get out of it. So you can hear we might want to do a little bit of trimming there to let the really beautiful sounds ring out. Okay, so now that we have that, we could record that. Yes, this is what sampling's all about. Okay, so I'm now going to sample the Volca sample into the PO-33 sample because some people just want to watch the world burn. So I'm going to hold down record and 9 for number 9 kit here. This is our first kit in a bank of 8. And I'm going to press each one of these sample keys in order and give the PO-33 a little bit of space in between so it can decide where the silence is and slice up the kit automatically. So here we go. All right, so we got 7 little things to mess with. Let's go ahead and make a pattern. All right, so we have a pattern. Let's move on and record another thing with the Volca. It's a good time to talk about recording automation. I want to turn up the volume for this pattern I've recorded, but I can't because I didn't set the volume to what I wanted when I recorded. So if I hold down right while this is playing, I can use these knobs in any of the effects banks to record automation for those knobs. So right now I am in tone, which will give me control over pitch and volume. So I'm going to hold down this and turn up my volume. And when I let go, that's been recorded. I can do more complex automation as well. If I want to do a filter sweep, I can hold down right while this is in filter mode. You see filter. So I want one more thing for my samples here, and that's just a hi-hat. So I'm going to pick a hi-hat over here. And I'm going to press this a bunch of times so I have every step filled. That filled all 16 steps with that hi-hat. So now I can record this hi-hat here. So I'm just going to do it on every step. What about recording to melodic stuff? I'm going to use my phone and record something into the melodic kits so I can play it on the whole keyboard. Hold down record, select one for a melodic instrument to record to that. Recorded. Cool. I need a bass. Okay, well, that's mostly all of what this little guy can do. Recording, sequencing, effects. If you make a masterpiece, like I obviously have done, yeah. You might want to save it. And this is a cool thing about the Metal series is you can actually back up your data. So to send the data to the device that's recording, you press in this order, write plus sound plus play. And it's going to make this terrible noise. This terrible, terrible noise. And once that's done, you save that file and you have a copy of everything that's on your PO-33. You can clear it off and do more stuff and restore that session later if you want by taking a cable and plugging it over here. Then you hold down write, sound, and record, and then hit play on your recording of the sound that you made, and it will come into here and populate all of the patterns and channels and erase everything that you've already had in here. But you'll have your backup back. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, thanks for joining me. I hope this was rather useful. This thing is really, really capable for how small it is, and it's pretty fun to have around with you. You can just sample random sources and make stuff out of it. Thanks. If you have any questions, please ask them in the comments. My name's Jeremy. This is Red Beans Recording, and I hope you have a wonderful day.